How you doing, Duff here? And you are looking at my new pool cleaner, a Pentair Dorado. I picked this up last week. Pinch Penny was having their big spring sale. My pool cleaner was kind of on its last legs, so I decided to pick one of these up. One of the cool things I like about the Dorado is it has a bristle brush built into it. Ever since I've had a pool, our pool was built in 2001. I've had Hayward Navigators. I've had 2 over that period of time. They've done a decent job. They have a lot of parts that wear out. The one that I have currently, I almost totally rebuilt. And of course, as you can imagine, the parts are not cheap. With this unit, from what the owner at the pool store told me, there's less parts, which is nice. So I'm just kind of interested in seeing what a new vacuum will offer me. All right, we got some parts and some directions. I'm gonna look over these quickly. Okay, that's enough reading. Okay, so here's the main body, and it looks like you put this piece on. So just insert this into the body and give it a quarter turn. So let's try to do that. Seems like it should snap in there easier than it is. Okay. Put it in and turn it a quarter turn. Like that. Alright, so now it's locked in. A lot of these parts here are used if you're going to install this into a skimmer. I have a dedicated vacuum port on my pool, so I'm hoping to be able to avoid using most of this. Alright, it says that you need to use enough hose that you have enough distance to reach the farthest point in the pool plus 4 feet. So let's see how that is. This is what the business side of the Dorado looks like. See all the brush action, little rubber seal here. The guy from the pool store said that this is the thing you wind up replacing on the Dorado most often, is this little rubber seal. Okay, I believe these are 4-foot sections. Here's my old hose for my Hayward Navigator. You can see they're much shorter sections. Those might be 3-foot sections on the Hayward. So I've got longer sections, so I'll probably need less hose to cover the pool. Okay, so right there is the vacuum outlet on my pool. The Hayward comes with like adapters you can use, I guess, to put your own port in, but the hose fits my port just fine, so I'm going to use the one that's in there. Okay, all the hose is the same except for this one piece called the leader hose. You can see it has a different end on it, and that is the end that is designed to go on top of your inlet to the pool cleaner. Just putting this hose together here. Now I'm just going to use it. I'm going to use it all and see how it goes. Using at least one section, maybe 2. Okay, they include a flow meter that you're supposed to put on the end of the hose before you hook up your cleaner and adjust the suction so the plunger is somewhere between the minimum and maximum flow. So I'm going to try to do that. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the floor drain, turn on the clean valve, and for now I have the skimmer open as well. So we will see how much suction we have. Okay, had a hard time trying to use this meter. When I would go switch the valve, it would make the hose kind of flop around and suck air in, and then I couldn't do anything. So what I've done is I just hooked up the Dorado, and I just have it on full suction right now. I'm going to see how it does. And you can see it is cleaning. I sort of intentionally let the pool get dirty just to get a good sense of what kind of job the Dorado does. So we're just going to let it run around. The Navigator does much more looping turns. It doesn't do like a 360 movement like that. That's interesting. Very interesting. Alright, so we'll be back in a little while and see how this goes. This says that it requires somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 hours to clean those pools. So we shall see. So far so good. Really need to shock the pool though. It's nasty. The drivetrain on the Dorado, it's surprisingly loud. I mean, you can hear this thing kind of echoing off the walls, which is fine. It doesn't bother me at all, but I'm just surprised. As you can see, it's doing the walls just fine. Climbing as it should. I'm curious how it does around the drain. That's one of the sections that the Hayward would often find itself getting stuck on. It would just be circling or on the drain for an inordinate amount of time. And the other area where the Hayward always got stuck was right against the steps. It would just kind of wedge itself against the steps, and it would stay there for prolonged periods of time. So the pattern that the Dorado uses, especially this 360 that it's doing right now, seems to prevent it from getting stuck in one spot for a long period of time, which is awesome. Alright, we are checking back in after... Actually, the pool pump just... Did it turn off? No, it didn't. Okay. We're checking back in after probably 3 hours. And you can see the bottom of the pool looks a lot better than it did, for sure. I see a couple spots it hasn't gotten yet, but overall it's done a good job. And I've seen it handle obstacles that the Hayward Navigator would get stuck on, so that's a good thing. So yeah, my initial feedback on the Pentair Dorado is my initial feedback on the Pentair Dorado is positive. Seems to work good. Vibrates a lot, makes a little bit of noise, but it also cleans pretty well, as you can hear. So I'll give some more feedback as I use it more, but so far so good. Until next time, tough man out.